Hey, it's Mr. Han here. Here are our notes on solving equations using the equation maths. So notice that it's not expression maths now, it's equation maths. The key word here, equate, equal. Okay. So equation maths are talking about equal maths. So quick review, if it's filled in, it's positive. If it's empty, it's negative. Hopefully you know that by now. So now we're going to assume that both sides equal each other. That's why they're called equation maths, because right here, they are going to equal each other, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look and write down what we see on the left side, okay? I'm going to put this as blue. So on the left side, you should see x, it's positive, it's filled, so x plus, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So plus 9. And then we're going to take away 1. And notice we have opposite land, so I need to go ahead and put a big old subtraction sign in parentheses. And inside opposite land, what do I have? I have 1 minus 2. Okay. So that's my left side. Now I need to write down what do I have on the right side. So on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and write 3x, it's all positive. And in opposite land, what do you see, right? And actually, really, how do you represent opposite land? We go ahead and put a big old minus sign in parentheses. What do you see in opposite land? We see negative 3. We'll close that. Now, what did we say about this equation, Matt? We're going to assume that both sides equal each other. So what we need to do is go ahead and put an equal sign in between. And if you remember the notes from before, I'm just going to put a little, let's use a pink highlighter. And all right. And so the left side equals the right side. Now what we need to do is distribute, combine like terms, and then solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. That's the first thing we can do. And so we get x plus 9 minus 1. And the opposite of negative 2, the opposite of positive 1 is negative 1, so minus 1. The opposite of negative 2 is plus 2. So we went ahead and simplified by distributing. We'll go ahead and do the same thing on the right side. We have a we have an opposite land, so we need to write 3x plus 3. So don't forget, the left side equals the right side. Now that we distributed, and we'll go ahead and write that in red, distribute. Next step we're going to do is combine like terms. CLT. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all the X's in orange and all the unit tiles. Let's use pink. Over here we have just unit tiles and X tiles. And on the right side we're going to notice there's nothing really to combine. So let's go ahead and look. Combine X's. There's only one X. 9 minus 1 plus 2. So 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So plus 9. X plus 9 on one side, and this other side we have 3x plus 3. Nothing really changed. Okay. Now our job here is to get x by itself. So right now I'm going to teach you, you want to get the variables on one side. So let's distribute, combine like terms, get variables on one side. So right here, we want to get the variables on one side because our goal is to solve for x. And when our goal is to solve for x, we need to get the variables on one side. So we'll go ahead and look which side has fewer number of x's, right? And technically it's like creating zeros. This left side has 1x. I'm going to subtract 1x from both sides. Remember, if I do something on one side, I got to do it on the other. So we'll go ahead and Subtract x from both sides. 9 equals 2x plus 3. Alright. Now we need to get the units on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Variables on one side, units on the other. So here we want to get negative 3 on the other side, or we need to subtract 3 from both sides. So that we have just 2x equals 6. The last step here is going to be to divide. We're going to divide by 2. X equals 3. So, just a recap. The first thing we did was distribute. Distribute. The second thing we did was combine like terms. Combine like terms. The third thing we did, oh, that wasn't in blue, that was in pink. Third thing we do, get the variables on one side. Then we got units on the other side. The last step was to divide. Go ahead and take that and shrink it up a little bit. Shrink it up a little bit. Those were the steps we took. Basically, everything below this right here, let's use a color I haven't used. Is a two-step equation. Oh no. Everything below 3. It's a two-step equation. Units on the one side and then divide. So the only thing that's new here today is getting the variables on one side. And that's like creating a 0. We're trying to get the least amount of x's. So if there's x's on both sides, we need to remove what they both have. So basically remove equal values. Okay? So we'll go ahead and say skip this one. Let's go ahead and move to example number 3. So example number 3, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at this and say what is on the left and what is on the right. Okay, so on the left, what color did I start with? Orange. What do I have on the left? I have negative 2x plus 1 minus 4, and then negative parentheses. Inside opposite land, we have negative x plus 1. And all of that equals, right? Because this right here equals. Two x plus 3 minus 1. 2x plus 3 minus 1. And there's no opposite land. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, distribute. We'll wind up with 2x plus 1 minus 4. But once we distribute, we're going to have plus x minus 1. And on the right side, nothing changed. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Remember, the left side equals the right side. So the first step was to distribute. The second step is combine like terms. let's go ahead and combine like terms, highlight all the x's, all the units. Oh, that's a horrible color to highlight on top. There you go. You can see that. All right, so let's combine. Negative 2x plus x is negative x. Plus 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Minus 1 is negative 4. On the right, we have 2x. And 3 minus 1 is plus 2. It's 2x plus 2. All right, so here we need to remove equal values. We're looking at the x's. And they both have, or no, that's a horrible way to explain that. We need to get the x's on one side. So here we're looking which side has a fewer number of x's. This is new. This isn't something I've really talked about. But we want to get the variables on one side. And notice how there's variable on, oh, that's bad color to highlight, on the left side and on the right side. So my question here is, which one is smaller, right? Negative x or 2. And so the negative x is smaller. So the key here is to get rid of that left side. So if we want to get rid of negative x, right, what do we have to do? We have to add x. So that's the inverse operation. So I'm going to add x to both sides, and then now we have no x's on this side. Negative 4 equals 2x plus 2. And then now I want to get the units on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get rid of this. So I need to subtract 2 from both sides. And so we get 2x equals negative 6. The last step here is to divide. Divide by 2, and we get x equals negative 3. X equals negative 3. Oh, I made a mistake. Right here, when we added x's, I did not actually add. What is this? 2x plus 1x. Yeah, it's not 2x. What's 2x plus 1x? That should say 3x. Right, so that also messes this up. Down here, it should say 2x. Oh, sorry. Wow, I'm really messing up. 3x, and then we should be dividing by 3. I feel like I should do that again from here. So I'm actually going to erase all of this. Nope. Let's do that carefully. Let's make surgery right here. Alright, my apologies. Good thing I caught that though. So here, I made a mistake. I didn't add these together earlier. I said 2 here, so I'm going to fix it from there. So as if I didn't make that mistake. Right? So now that I combine like terms and I got x's on one side, right? I want to get the units on the other, so I'm looking at this unit and I'm trying to get to the other side of x. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides. And then so we have 3x equals negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals negative 2. There you go. Right, 3 divided by 3 is 1x. So we're trying to get 1x equals negative 2. All right, so now here's some problems that are already written out for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw a pink highlighter down the middle, representing that they're both equal. Okay, so the first step, I'm going to write the steps again just in case you forgot. First step is distribute. The second step, combine like terms. The third step, get an x on one side, or get variables, usually x, on one side. Fourth step, get units on the other side. The last step is to divide. So let's go ahead and distribute. Notice that there's no opposite land or no parentheses on the right side, so we don't need to worry about distributing. But here there is. So I'm going to go ahead and copy 4x. Oh, I'm not going to use red. (4x plus 5 minus 11 equals 2x plus 8). And the opposite of -4 is, or the opposite of +4 is -4. So I went ahead and distribute, got rid of the negative parentheses. The next step is combine like terms. So let's go ahead and highlight all the x's. That's pink, orange, and all the units. So we have 4x. +5 minus 11 is -6. On the right side we have 2x. +8 minus 4 is +4. So we have 4x minus 6 equals 2x plus 4. Next thing we need to do is we need to get the variables on one side. So I'm going to look at the variables and see how there's a 2x and a 4x. So question here is, which side is smaller, right? If we're going to create zeros, with these x's we would say -2x, -2x. And that's going to get rid of the x's on the right side. So we get 4, just a unit, and then over here we have 2x minus 6. And then our next step is to get the units. Get the units on the other side of what? The other side of x. So right here we're looking on the side of x. What units are there? -6. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. Now the units are on the other side. 2x, so now the variable is by itself. 2x equals 10, and then divide. Divide by the coefficient, the number in front of the x, and x equals 5. Voila. So if I were to take these steps right here, oops, it would go distribute, combine like terms, get variables on one side, which is the pink, get units on the other, which is the purple. This last step is divide, which I can make blue. We divided by 2. Blue. Oh, not duplicate style. Blue. And our answer here was 5. Alright, let's do this again. This time we have a huge problem, but no problem. That's not a problem for us because we're going to follow our guide right here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, duplicate it. So we're going to follow our steps here. The first step we're going to do is distribute. So let's go ahead and distribute and get rid of opposite land. Now notice right now everything is just a negative. There's going to be a number here at some point. We have to distribute that. But right now, don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and draw a line. We have 4 plus 5x. On the right we have x plus 12. And once we distribute this, we have -x minus 11. And over here, we have -2x minus 4. So the first step here is to distribute. Voila. The second step is to combine like terms. Combine like terms. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. All the units in pink. x, orange. What do I get? 5x minus x. 5x minus x is 4x. And 4 minus 11 is negative 7. Over here, x minus 2x is negative x. And then 12 minus 4 is plus 8. So we went ahead and combined like terms. Let's get x on one side. So here's the key. Which x is smaller, negative x or positive 4x? And the smaller one is negative x, so we're going to do the inverse. Plus x on both sides, and we get 8 equals 5x minus 7. So we got x on one side. Now let's get the units on the other. Units on the other side of what? The other side of x. Plus 7 plus 7. 5x equals 15. Last step here. We're almost there. 5x equals 15. We're going to divide. Divide both sides by 5, and x equals 3. And that's our final answer. Okay, so here's a little recap. I'm going to write it up here. I'd like you to write it as well. First step, distribute. Second step, combine like terms. This is not new. These first two steps, we've been talking about them. The third step is get variables on one side. Fourth step, get units on the other side, and the other side of x, right? The last step is to divide, right, by the number in front of x. So it's called the coefficient. So this is a quick recap. We'll do more notes on this again. Hopefully this will help you. Best of luck.